What's up, good people? It's your guy, Didio Nassus. Welcome back to MVP's TV Game Changers podcast. I am your host, and we have a special guest in the building. Let's give her a brief intro. We met at the Esports Travel Summit in Raleigh, North Carolina. She's a high-energy personality with a galactic amount of experience and knowledge. She's described as, this is funny, she's described as her company's best kept secret, all right? Events and activation specialist of the NFL Alumni Las Vegas. Game Changers Podcast, welcome Heather Phillips to the show. What's up, Heather? How's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you? Thank you for having me today. I really appreciate you. And let me tell you, that esports event was phenomenal. Getting to meet you and all of the people involved with esports is amazing. It's the world's changing, and esports has such a place in it. It's amazing how much we look back on the last 30 years and how the different sports that have come into the world, and esports is such a place where it's funny because people are like, oh, you can't be a gamer. And now all of a sudden there's multi-million dollars being paid out for gaming, and kids are getting scholarships to go to college to game. Even the armed forces have their own gaming team. It's phenomenal.
What's up, good people? Today's show has been brought to you by Opus Clips. Ready to elevate your video content? Join Opus Clips. Unlock premium editing features, exclusive templates, and advanced tools designed to bring your creativity to life. Sign up through my link below to snag bonuses just for my viewers. What are you waiting for? Opus Clips. It's designed to save you time and elevate your content.
That's right. That's right. And you get to follow your favorite college teams, esports college teams on Twitch. It's just like the content is just shooting out from everywhere, like you said, and that content draws a lot of eyes, and it also draws a lot of revenue.
Which is funny too, because a lot of people don't realize it's not just about the gamers. It's also about the parts that go into making the games. It's the storyboards. It's the graphic designers. It's the marketing, the sales, the package designers. There's so many ways to get involved with esports that most people don't realize. And that's actually one of the things for the NFL alumni that we look at is we know not every child's going to come out and play a sport. They're not going to come out and be on our football field and play with former players, which we actually focus only about 1 to 2 football events per market per year. And it's interesting because we are realizing that a lot of these kids are able to play esports. We're in their hand. And so a lot of times what happens is even if they're not going to play a sport, they're going to be involved somehow in esports. So we want to be able to leverage both sides of it for the community and for the kids, because there's a lot of money that they could be getting to go to college, not just to play actual sports, but esports. And we actually got to tour a really cool facility in North Carolina State, and what they're putting into their esports, amazing. If I was younger or my kids were not, looking at college in a different way, man, I'd tell them, get involved, because there's some amazing opportunities there.
But like you said, I did love the tour of North Carolina State. I think we went to like a sister campus first, and then we went over to like the original campus. And I thought that both campuses were dope, but what they were doing, like in that newer facility, the younger one, that was fire. That was fire. They had recording studios. Amazing. They had a whole esports mobile booth. They had a lot of stuff in there, man. It's just the library robot was fire too. I don't know if you remember that one.
Yes. Like you don't even have to look for a book. You tell them what they want, and they're like, blah, 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 and it happens. I was like, no card catalogs for us. We got AI and digital. It's amazing.
Yeah. I thought that was too stupid fire. So you said y'all are into that. Y'all partner with NC State to what's that partnership like? Can you tell us about it?
So it's actually unique. So my company is actually called Business BFF Services, and we are a voice simplification company that works with businesses to help them leverage networks to grow net worths. And by doing that, we work within sports and entertainment. My role with the NFL Alumni Las Vegas chapter is I help create events and activations to help build businesses to understand how to work with the NFL alumni. And we support local children's charities in our community. And we've taken Huddle Up, which is our program nationally.
Okay.
We are in 5 cities right now. We'll be in 15 next month. Whew, a lot of them. But we'll be in 40 markets across the U.S. in the next few months. And what we understand is we want to be the voice to the community, because there's a lot of programs and opportunities that people don't realize. And we want to make sure parents understand that there's opportunities for their kids. Almost every chapter has at least 1 to 2 different football camps a year. And what happens with that is that they are not all kids are going to come out to those events, but we have an esports opportunity. So we want to bridge that gap, because we understand that every child has a phone in their hand and they're able to play games. But if they don't have access to knowledge as to how to convert that into a career, into a way to make money, then their parents are going to be like, oh, that's not how this works. So we want to educate the parents as well. So it's a dual leadership there between the parents and the kids. So the parents understand that there is opportunities within esports, but at the same time, we're also showing the kids like, hey, you don't have to play sports, but you can also play sports this way. So it's a really awesome opportunity to bridge the gap and give information to parents as well as the kids.
That's dope, because I think that that's needed, and you guys are approaching it from both ends, from the kids' perspective and the parents' perspective, which is the most important, because I remember all of my life I was just hearing about how I'm wasting my time playing video games, which was kind of true, but I did develop a lot of skills later on when I started to stream, when I started to, develop my YouTube channel, when I started to, if you're making thumbnails yourself, you're learning graphic design there. If you're editing your videos yourself, you're learning video production and, just how to tell the overall story if you actually put out YouTube videos. And I think that that's a real important part, getting those parents involved, man.
Well, and, if you watch anything that has to do with NFL, you have the former players talking about what you're seeing, what you're going to see. And, they're talking there. And a lot of men, a lot of women too, but a lot of men really watch it. And they see that part of it, and they talk about the Caring for Kids program. But at the end of the day, the NFL alumni on the side of the nonprofits is there to help not only caring for our own. We obviously want to help all of our former players, the wives, widows, and cheerleaders that we support. But we also want to make sure that we're also caring for the kids and the kids programs that are helping the kids, that they get access to the things that they need, which is education. And, it's not just the education of, hey, here's, the tools so you can do your homework at home as well as in class, and food, because obviously food scarcity is a big reason. 1 in 3 kids go to school to eat, not to learn. And then you have the reasons why, people bully. They bully or they get bullied because they can't see. So we would start with those ones. But from there, we actually only do a little bit within the sports community, but we want kids to understand there's so many opportunities to get a job, to go to school within esports, because it's not just about gaming. It's not just about using your thumbs. It's about using your mind. It's about creative content. It's about creating a storyboard. It's about graphic design. It's about the arts. It's about the math of it. How do you figure out how much it's going to cost to build, launch, and grow a game? And there's so many things involved with it that we want to make sure that when we're telling the kids, hey, you have this opportunity, we're also telling the parents, hey, your child could go to school and get grants, get paid to go to school and play or be involved in esports in some way. And most people don't realize that. So we want to make sure that message is being shared across moms, dads, and kids, because we don't want a kid to go, Mom, I could be this. And the mom or the dad's like, nah, that's not how this works. You're going to be able to be a plumber. And nothing wrong with being a plumber, but at the same time, if you have a knack, if you have a drive and a will, and you can do something amazing, let's feed that. Let's feed that into the gaming world, because you're right. Back in the day, I remember my kids like, Mom, I want to play this game. I'm like, I don't know what Roblox is, but I was like, okay, let's go play this game. And we would sit there for hours building, and the concepts that they learned, the skill set that they learned is phenomenal, because at the end of the day, what it takes to do that, you could run your own business. You could be a CEO or a C-suite, or you could be somebody who just says, hey, this is how we change the world. And that's what you do. And it's something as simple as I learned how to do this in a game.
That's right.
How many games did you learn rules from? I mean, how many of us learned in the last 3 years? We've been playing Uno wrong our whole lives with those reverses.
No, it's different regions. So in this region where I am, we use the reverses consecutively, if we can. So I guess it's regional. I don't know. I still think it's regional. I don't care what the rule book says. But you're right though. We did learn. Like sports in general, you do learn how to follow the rules. You learn how to get a sense of the rules and how you can maneuver within the rule set, and develop your skills within that rule set. It is very important as a kid to be involved in sports and now esports or gaming. So I had a balance of both. I was athletic a little bit, I guess. I was a little bit athletic. So, but I still was an avid gamer in my spare time though. So I was well balanced.
You're a little younger than I am. We didn't have quite the gaming systems we have today when I was growing up, but we definitely had some Mario. That was the big thing. Sega was a big thing growing up. NES, I'm dating myself.
I'm gonna outdate you. I guarantee you. I started playing Atari. That's when I started playing.
Atari was around, but I was a PC gamer. So you would be you had to do /walk, and then it was all DOS based. It was very different than what it is today. Before we had an interface with a Microsoft. That's the old school games I played. Oregon Trail, just to give you.
Trail. That's what I just said. Oregon Trail. Yes. That was my first PC game. Oregon Trail.
Yes. We played some hardcore dysentery on those games.
Yeah. But you do develop a huge skill set. So BFF, that's your company. You're the CEO of BFF. So was it BFF before the NFL Alumni, and how did that partnership actually develop?
So my whole role and goal for what I do for work is I help businesses get their voice into rooms, whether they're in the room or not physically, right? Okay. So when I went into a room, I was actually walking in an expo on behalf of one of my clients, which we have coming up in September. It's called Support Local, where we give a platform for local businesses. And they were like, hey, can you go check out this other event? Let us know, because cost and just feedback, right, for your competitors. So I went into the room. I started talking to the NFL alumni. It was their very first one. It was 2022. It was their very first year that they were able to do an actual event here in Las Vegas. Obviously moved here in 2018 with the team coming. And, with everything that happened, we're not going to talk about that part. They were able to actually have an event. So I met with them. 2023 was our first full year of operation here in Las Vegas. And I started working with them and talking to them. And since I do a lot of networking, and I teach people how to network, how to work, and how to utilize and really take what you have and be a little different than every competitor. Right. That's why I started working with them on their enterprise side of business, teaching people how to leverage the shield to grow and build their business. And so now we're doing that through Huddle Up on a national level in multiple cities and counties across the U.S. So we are engaging with that, and we're tying in with esports because we want to. So we've actually had an event in Philadelphia, an event in Atlanta, where we actually had a couple of our esports groups that we met at Esports Travel Network Summit. They came out and they hosted an event there. And then one of our guys came here to Vegas and had a game going to show businesses how you can be different. And a lot of businesses don't realize you can do a lot by leveraging esports for your own brand. If you combine yourself with an esports brand, there's so much you can do because nobody else is doing that. And so that's what BFF does. We help figure out how do you differentiate yourself from other businesses that are competitors to you and build those brands and those awareness. And that's where it came into be. They said, hey, you understand networking. Let's show an ROI. Let's create an event that allows businesses to leverage the shield as well as understand how to do business with sports and entertainment. And Huddle Up came to fruition a year ago here in Las Vegas.
Wow, that's a fire connection.
I
like all of that. I like all of that. So you're you're the plug. You're the plug.
I am the
for
plug.
the plug.
I'm also known as a fixer. So when people call me and they have a problem, I feel like I'm a little bit of vanilla ice. You know, it's like, yo, I'll solve it. I got a solution.
Oh, this is the first time I've had a vanilla ice quote on any podcast I've ever done. A problem I'll solve it. Yeah, I love that, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, ice, baby. Yeah, okay, all right, cool.
We stuck in your head forever now, but you're welcome. It's like literally, I got a call on a Monday, right before 4th of July, that they had an event that they wanted to have. It was a merger between a former NFL player, a former NBA legend, and a UFC legends, and they wanted to have an event to help with the opioid crisis. They wanted to raise awareness, but they wanted to have it here in Vegas, and they didn't have a venue. They didn't have everything in place, and it was Monday, and the event started on Sunday, the 4th of July. Or sorry, the 14th of July. So I had to get everything booked out, create an entire plan, and then I ended up hosting the 5 of the 6 events for them over 3 days. So and so I actually had a conversation with one of our esports teams.
So you put that together
because I was like, hey, we have gamers in the sense of gaming with pickleball. I was like, can we create a way to bring about a game for pickleball for people that can't actually play pickleball, but they want to learn about the basics of pickleball? So we started creating a program under that for them.
That's dope. My coworkers always rave about pickleball. I have no clue what they're talking about. I think it's like a mixture of handball.
It's like tennis and handball and like a smaller court. I don't even know. It was super fun watching the 6-year-old own the court and take these former NBA and NFL players to school. It's like how I felt when I would play games with my kids and they would own me in roadblocks in different games. And I was like, even World of Warcraft, they're like, Mom, you got to go this way. I'm like, I'm going that way. No, you're flying the wrong direction. I'm like, ow. Hold on. Let me figure this out here real quick. But pickleball was super fun. It is a fast growing sport. And I think we're going to see a lot in the esports world with pickleball because not everybody can play sports. But man, let me tell you what, pickleball brings out. Whew. They show up and show out. And I think if we had an esports pickleball game, I think we'd have something there.
Wow. So I can see that happening like maybe VR, maybe. I remember you mentioning that while we're in Raleigh that you had like back-to-back events and you were just flying. You're going to be on the plane probably multiple times for the next few weeks. Like what is that lifestyle like when you're just moving from event to event? Does it feel like work or does it just feel like one big vacation, but you have to still be on your A game?
It's a little bit of both. When you travel about 40 weeks out of the year and you're in 3 cities in 3 days and you're bouncing across the U.S., it's a little chaotic some days, especially when you have a home that you have to make sure is taken care of. But luckily, all my kids are adults, thankfully. And they're amazing kids. I love them all. They are phenomenal, living their life as adults, which I'm grateful for. But it's a little hard sometimes, but it's also really fun because I work with some of my best friends. I get to do some impactful work across the U.S. and I get to work with some of the most amazing people. I mean, honestly, I could not tell you like how phenomenal some of these people are with the fact that they're doing good in their communities. And we're talking locally, centrally to their actual communities where they either grew up or they've called home now and what they're doing with their chapters. It's the ability to be able to say that I get to work with some of the most amazing people across the U.S. and it doesn't feel like work. It gets tiring doing a red eye from one place to the next and then getting in there, doing an event, doing a red eye the next, that night into the next place. Some days it's exhausting. But at the end of the day, when I get to sit down to dinner with some of my best friends in the world and I get to meet amazing people, it doesn't feel like work. And when I was growing up, the saying was always, find something that you love to do. You'll never work a day in your life. And some days it doesn't. I mean, obviously it's very work because it's big productions, But it doesn't feel like a lot of work when I get to hang out with my best friends and I get to have conversations with people that are phenomenal and they're making an impact. So like you, I we got to hang out. I mean, that didn't feel like work, going to that and learning about all the different opportunities and places and the different esports companies.
Yep.
That's not work.
That's not work.
That's humanitarian effort of fun. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that definitely wasn't work. It definitely was a whole lot of fun and
some good food.
Yeah, and some good food.
We had some good food
for sure. We did.
We had some fun gaming because we had that really fun night where we went to that. What do they call it? A barcade? Oh, we had so much fun. I played. Oh my gosh. I played the Jurassic Park game with Jacob. We had so much fun. I killed so many different little dinosaurs. I felt kind of bad, but it was like, yay, I won. Again, gaming, bringing together people in an old-fashioned way. But we had so much fun that night. Did you play the basketball game?
I didn't play basketball. No, I didn't play basketball. I was on the what is that? The life-size, not the life-size motorcycle, but the little motorcycle game where you jump on the little and you just lean and lean.
Yes.
I hadn't been on one of those since like the old school arcades in the malls went away.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
You know
yes,
I mean?
Absolutely.
So that was a lot of fun. You gave me a bucket of quarters. That's what I used them on. Yeah. I used your bucket of quarters to go ride the motorcycle. What else?
I love it.
Did you get caught up in
Pac-Man? We did the 4-man Pac-Man.
No.
Oh, I have never been in a competitive Pac-Man event ever. That was so much fun. We also did the air hockey.
Yeah.
Girl power. We won against the boys. Very proud of that one. But my biggest accomplishment was actually basketball. I am 5'3" and playing against a 6'4" guy and out basketing him.
All right. You smashed him.
That was fun. But the motorcycle looked super fun. I wish I would have tried that one.
Who's 6'4"? Are you talking about? Is it Stu?
No. Jacob was
Jacob.
Jacob's like 6'4".
Okay.
And then also one of our guys who does esports games out of California. Shoot, I cannot remember his name. It is funny when you talk about a small world.
Yeah.
That esports summit was a small world. So I saw a gentleman that I had met during CES here in Las Vegas at one of our private events with our studio here in town.
Yeah.
He was there. His name is Jeff. He has a company out of California. He was there with his girlfriend. They're amazing people. And it was like, oh my gosh, like I haven't seen him since January. And we met at the end of, what was it, May? And then we're at that tour at North Carolina State. And this gentleman starts talking about, like, if you're ever in Vegas, you got to go to this networking event. It's the networking event of networking events. Like, this is where you the gamified networking and all this stuff. And I start laughing. And I look at this guy and I'm like, are you talking about Huddle Up? He's like, yeah. He's like, you've been to it? I'm like, I created it. It's Logan. And Logan is good friends with a gentleman by the name of Mark Anthony. Mark Anthony is an influencer. Okay. Mark Anthony had been to my events because of Cliff, which Cliff is one of my guys who was sent to me by one of the gentleman who works in, he's in real estate, but he also works within like Web3. Like that's how small this world is. And when you get into gaming, phenomenal stuff that happens there.
That's
just
insane.
Like that's how small this world is.
Right. I'm going to ask you. You mentioned that you were, you had to jump on a couple of red eyes and whatnot. Did you get caught up in the whole Microsoft glitch airport meltdown a couple of weeks ago? Because I know I did. I was in Nashville. I stuck in Nashville for overnight because of my flight was canceled multiple times. So I had to stay in Nashville overnight, and I was so ass. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, it was. So we were actually supposed to be leaving Las Vegas and going to Phoenix. We were supposed to fly in. All of that stuff happened, and I got a call from one of my former he's an NFL player, but he's a doctor, and he's one of our former military guys, and he says, look, do not get on a flight. So my business partner and we end up renting a car, driving to Phoenix and driving back.
Oh.
Because I didn't want a chance. I had an event. And so that's when you talk about flexibility, like it's not always about red eye. Sometimes you have to drive. Sometimes we'll just pick up a rental car and we'll go. It just matters as to what is going on. And yeah, those red eyes are brutal, especially when you're going from Vegas to the East Coast. Going from Vegas to Philly on a red eye, landing in Philly and going straight to work and hosting an event, and then going back to your hotel by 10, 11 o'clock at night, getting up in the morning at 6, being out of the airport by 8 to land in Atlanta to do an event, and then leaving there and going to the next location. Yeah.
Like, how are you still standing? Like, how's that?
You learn to sleep. I know that's
gotta be crazy though, but
it's bad. But when you get to work with amazing people and have fun, it's not work.
Yeah.
Although I do got to tell you, when I left you guys from that event, I ended up driving to South Carolina to meet a couple of clients there because I couldn't get a flight. And then I ended up driving to North Carolina to Charlotte to meet with one of our chapter presidents there because, again, flights were not happening there. It was like chaos. How do you not fly from one side to the other side without a 15-hour layover somewhere?
Right.
So I drove. I got to drive all over the Carolinas. Went the wrong direction twice.
That's great that you got to see some of our beautiful countryside over here.
Gorgeous over there. But I got to tell you, the roads between North Carolina and South Carolina, you have a beautiful welcome to South Carolina, and about a mile and a half down the road, the roads go to yucky.
Oh, yeah. Were you on I-20?
So I went from Raleigh down to Lexington area. So whatever road that is.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's 77, and then you kind of switched over to I-20. That's why you should live. I should live in that area. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But I did notice something. I got to tell y'all that the signage there, it kills me. I'm like, my GPS is like, take a right, and I'm looking at the signs, and there's like a sign, but all the words are missing. They melted. They burnt off. Replace them. Those of us that are not from there, we don't know. And GPS don't like us. It'll be like, take the second right. And there's one right, not two. I'm like, where do I go?
It's not in the budget yet. It's not in the budget. Next fiscal year, we're going to put that in there. So any announcements that you want to make before we wrap it up? Any new events? Anything you want us to relate to the people?
Of course. So watch for Huddle Up to come to your city. We will be in 15 markets in the next month and a half. We will be adding in the remaining, we'll be in 15. We'll be adding in another 10 the month after, and we will be in the remaining 15 the month after that. So in the next couple months, we will be in 40 markets across the U.S. So think there's 32 teams, 30 markets. We also have markets where there's no longer a team like St. Louis or Oakland, and then home bases for the gentlemen where they came from, like Oklahoma City. We will be in the Birmingham, Alabama. We'll be in those areas over the next few months. If you are a business owner, if you are looking to leverage, if you want to learn how to do business with sports and entertainment, esports, you want to be looking for Huddle Up. That's the biggest part. If you want to learn how, I can teach you how to do business with them. And then other than that, if you are unsure of whether your child can get some money to go to school and/or esports, counselors may not know, but there are businesses out there that can help your child evaluate scholarships, and especially in the esports world. Reach out to esports companies in your area, because the opportunities are immense. If you're unsure, Google the people that are leading the way as influencers in the esports world. They share knowledge, and they're not scared to share it. So please reach out to us at Huddle Up. You can find us at huddleuptix.com, and you can reach out through our websites, and we're here to help. So whatever we can do to help leverage us.
Got it. Just off the top, do you know of any events that you will be involved in the Southeast, as far as like, I guess, North Carolina on down to Georgia?
Oh, you mean like the Carolinas, like the call that I was on right before you and I started talking that I had to go back to when you and I get off this call? Yes, we'll be in the Carolinas. We're looking at late August to September to be in Charlotte. We will be in Columbia the month after. We'll be in Charlotte and in Columbia the month after, and we'll be adding in the Carolinas and different areas across the Carolinas over the next few months. We will be in Baltimore, Philly, Atlanta. We're looking at 3 locations in Atlanta. Oh my goodness, the list goes on and on. Like my schedule, we're not going to talk about my schedule, but my schedule is looking pretty crazy for the next few weeks. Everybody's like, are you going to be home for this? I can't answer that because my schedule's being set right now and I will probably be on the road.
Nice. Okay.
But I expect to see you and
Yeah.
Game Changer podcasting for my events, just so you know.
I love to.
We need to talk about this.
Yeah, let's do that. I love to, because I'm right here in Columbia, like that Columbia area. So
okay, so I'm gonna do a small little plug. There's a place right outside of Columbia in Lexington called Big Tuna. If you like fresh Baja style food, he's from California. Oh, food is amazing, and Big Tuna is phenomenal. He's great. But let me tell you, at that food, you gotta go check him out. That's
crazy that you're from out of town. You don't even live here. You put me on to my spots. That's
crazy. You know what? That's what happens though. Is we become the influencers in the community, and that's why we leverage the communities, and we want to be in there. And so we got some talks because there's a couple of really awesome community members in your area that we got to talk about but like Big Tuna, I mean, that food is phenomenal. And I'm telling you, you're going to be living there, and don't blame me if you gain weight because that food is so good.
I got you. I'm going to check that out this weekend. I got to be in that area this weekend also, so I'm going to go swing.
Perfect.
This is well worth it.
Thank you for being so amazing when we met. You know, this is what the world's about connections and about friendships and relationships like this, for business. And I appreciate you. So thank you. And thank you for all you do for changing the game for nonprofits and for gaming and esports. You're phenomenal.
Yeah. I appreciate it. I appreciate you, Heather. I appreciate you just coming through and giving us the game, giving us a wealth of knowledge. Some jewels in here that I'm sure the viewers in the community are going to come back through and just comb through and be like, okay, she said this, she said that. Let me tap into the NFL alumni. Let me tap into what the resources that you guys are providing. Yeah. So we
have a lot of resources. That. We help businesses, nonprofits, governmental agencies, educational facilities become the voice. And we also help people learn how to get grants. That's one of our biggest things. So Business BFF, I'll text you the information and you can put it out there. It's really simple. It is just a simple BBFFSVC.com. That's us.
So I got to ask, so does the BFF stand for best effing friend? Or is it?
Sitting there. I am your best friend ever.
Okay.
We're just going to go with that part.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else that you want to leave us with before I close
just
it out?
Appreciation for you and for all that you do.
Thank you.
And I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens in the next year with esports and obviously with everything rolling out between all the programming. So.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to give my couple shout outs. Shout out to the MVP team, Jay Jonah, Retro Gaming, Trey and Jay, True Lives, the whole MVPs team, Mo Harkless, and also shout out to you, Heather, and the Esports Travel Summit, because none of this would have happened without that networking event. That was freaking phenomenal. Shout out to them. I can't remember my girl's name. I think her name is Nicole. I might be wrong. Sorry. I might be wrong. We're going to bleep that out. Okay. But anyway. But as always, live life, show love, be great, and always keep the kill feed lit. It's been your guy, Didio Nassus, with Heather Phillips, NFL Alumni. We out. Peace, BFFs. Peace. Now let's go change the game.